Welcome to this week's Down Home with Tina show. I've got a wonderful fella who I had the opportunity to spend most of 5 days, Steve Rauch. I was invited by a friend of mine, mutual friend of ours, Jody Bird, to be and participate and partake in a mission trip that you were all going to go on with Samaritan's Purse. And she had been on, I know, one before, and I don't know how many you had been on before, but I did it. And I reached out to you, and we were afraid there wasn't going to be a spot, but there was. And Steve, I don't want to start right off. What an amazing time.
It was.
So do you want to share with folks what exactly is Samaritan's Purse before we go on to talk about our trip and what happened there?
Yeah. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to be here, and thank you for going and working through the challenges that were required to make that happen. Samaritan's Purse is an arm of the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association. Billy Graham's son, Franklin Graham, is the leader of Samaritan's Purse, and they do all kinds of philanthropic things throughout literally the world. And what we did was disaster relief. So whenever there's a disaster, Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Ida, and all the other names of hurricanes, Samaritan's Purse is one of the first people to show up. And they show up to make a difference in people's lives, to help them get back on their feet, and to share the love of Jesus Christ. Those are things that, Tina, you and I love. And so that's why it was so easy to partner with them. They are very organized. They do tremendous work. They don't charge you. There's other organizations that will charge you a fee to go on trips like this and help. Samaritan's Purse does not. They feed you, they give you a place to sleep. It's not, the Ritz-Carlton, but it is a place to rest. And then you get to work with people, help them. What we were doing there in Kentucky was there were floods that had occurred there in Floyd County, Kentucky, and we were able to help these families who didn't have the resources to get their homes cleaned up, and we were able to partner with them to help them do that. And that's what happens, one of the tremendous jobs that Samaritan's Purse does.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those folks who are interested in participating in it, of course, there is an application that you have to fill out through Samaritan's Purse.
Correct.
Background check, things like that. Truly legit to make sure that everybody is in good company. And a Christian.
Exactly right.
They want you to have good, no swearing, no alcohol. No, I mean, there are things like that, of course, to be not expected for you to do, and you shouldn't anyway.
Correct.
So, but anyways, yes. So we had the opportunity for a group of 10 of us that we loaded up in a van. Not all 10, some had to drive separate for other reasons, but we just climbed in this van, and the ex-church and Tree Church, some from the Tree Church, came together, and now I go to both.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't decide on one. No, I go to both. I've just been all Sunday morning at church services. Why not?
Right.
No, but anyways, we get in the van and we traveled. How many hours was that?
It was about 4 hours.
4 hours. 4 hours. I couldn't remember. It seemed like 5 when you. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. We started out and we went down, and I didn't know everybody. You probably knew most of everybody that went on the trip.
Yes.
And so, me being my first, I only knew you and one other person. And we went down and we get all set up. We all get assigned a room, and you have other people in the room. And then I'm trying to think, we didn't have dinner the next day. We go for dinner. Did we have dinner that night? We didn't have dinner that night, did we?
We did. We had dinner that night.
I remember.
And then we just, we went to bed and then had orientation after breakfast in the morning.
Yes, and that tells you what to expect and everything.
Yes.
And then your team, you get assigned a team leader.
Correct.
And his name was Kurt. Amazing fella.
He was great.
Worked alongside us just like he was one of us. He wasn't just there telling us what to do.
Right.
He got out there, and I have a feeling that's what he did on all of his mission trips. And so I wanted to talk about some of the fun things.
Yes.
Now, all of the folks that were with us, and I want to make sure who was all with us. I mean, of course, me, you, and Jody.
Right.
Dwayne.
Right. And then Hannah Kelly, she came, actually her last name is South. Hannah South brought her dad, Chris Kelly.
Yes.
So that was super cool. I loved it that a daughter and dad got to work together. And then Stu and Elizabeth Hostetter. Stu had gone before, but Elizabeth had not come. She gave me a hard time because I didn't invite her the last time. So we invited her this time, and it was great to see a husband and wife team together, wasn't it?
Yes, it was amazing. And then Dan. I think Dan
Gallagher
was the other one that
correct.
we aren't missing any.
And then Brian Decker, who went with us to New Orleans the last time, also joined us as well.
Yes, and right from the start, folks, I fell in the mud.
Yes,
I didn't make it to the job site. First day, not even to the job site.
They give you a Samaritan's Purse t-shirt, and we're all wearing these orange Samaritan's Purse t-shirts. Then we get to the job site, and your t-shirt got muddy first.
I tripped over a barbed wire that I already knew was there. I walked by it, and I said, that's there. And then me and Jody, because we tend to have fun, I fell on my back. Here, the photo will show. I went down very gracefully.
Do we have a picture of that?
Absolutely.
Good. I'm looking forward to seeing that, because that was a special moment.
But we did 3 houses. I know we're almost out of time already because it goes by fast, but we did 3 houses and 3.5, not even 3.5 days. We weren't even there the full half day.
Correct.
We went in as a team and knocked it out because we are passionate about these people and these families.
No question.
What do you think these families feel? And then we got to go.
Yeah, well, they feel that somebody saw them, loved them, rearranged their schedule to help them, and they got to hear about the love of Jesus. Everybody wins in that situation.
They each get a Bible with the logo on it with through the storm, and I gotta go. So follow the Facebook, folks, because I'll have more on there and some of the pictures. Steve, thank you so much. Never enough time.
You're welcome.
But that's okay, because we've got to share our time and our love and our caring. Thanks, Steve. Folks, I'll be back in a minute. It's Down Home with Tina.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Bay Food Market is Fairfield County's source for high-quality, locally sourced meats. The meat case is always full of quality fresh beef, pork, gourmet burgers, and gourmet brats for you and your family to enjoy. Bay Food Market cures and smokes their own hams, bacon, and sausage. Visit Bay Food Market at the corner of Maple and Walnut Streets in Lancaster and discover the Bay Food Market difference. Open daily 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., closed Thursday and Sunday. Bay Food Market, proudly serving Fairfield County families for more than 90 years.
You walked down the aisle and promised happily ever after. Sometimes happily ever after means ending a relationship. We know the conversations are not easy. Deciding what's best for you, your children, and your next steps takes work and communication. At Dagger Law, we know there are no monsters in a divorce, only people trying to find their way. Local, trusted, experienced. Dagger Law.
Welcome back. It's Down Home with Tina. I have Cheryl Ricketts with me. She is Senior Fair Board Director and one of how many?
Oh, there are 16 of us.
On the Fairfield County Fair, for the Fairfield County Fair Board.
That's exactly right.
How many years is this now, Cheryl?
You know, this is the 172nd fair. We started our first one in 1851, and so we are so excited to be back for a full fair again this year. We had one last year, but I think people weren't quite sure last year, so we're so excited to have everybody come back and join us.
And it was full house last year. I don't know if it was about every day, but it was wonderful. I love the fair. And folks, as you can see, I've got my, my red and white, because I think that this, when I look at this, it reminds me of the farms, and it reminds me of, the 4-H'ers and the animals and the agriculture, and I think so much of what Fairfield County is. And I think that's why I get so excited just to see on that very first day of the fair. When is the fair this year? What are the dates, Cheryl?
October 9th through the 15th. So it runs Sunday through Saturday, and it's the second Sunday of the fair. That's our free day, so everybody can come in, and then our admission is still really a great value. Back in 1871 or something, it was like 25 cents. This year, it's still, for those that are 10 and older, only $7. That's like the least expensive fair in the whole state. So we're excited about how available we make this for people, and we just want everybody to come and enjoy the fun.
So many great things about our county fair. And I know free day is Sunday, so those of you folks who don't like to be around a whole lot of people, I don't recommend that you come on Sunday. I like it because I spend a lot of times up in the barns with the 4-H'ers, and I know that we're going to have that, and some of those kids are going to be on in next week's episode of the Downhill Martina Show to talk a little more about that. But it's just so fun and it's so nice. Why do you think folks enjoy our county fair so much? Cheryl?
Our fair is so unique because a lot of fairs just have livestock. I mean, I've had friends come back and say, our fair is so much better because we just went to X Fair and it was primarily just livestock. We have, in addition to that, we have an amazing art hall. Because we're focused on education and history, we've got amazing historical buildings, so you can come in and see those. And then, of course, all the fair food and the rides, and there's truly something for everybody at our fair. It doesn't matter what you love. So in the art hall, whether you love collections of antiques or sewing, or whether you love food, or you want to see something unique like the tallest weed in the county that's submitted, we have those things. So it's just, my area happens to be fine arts and photography. And we have people come from other fairs to see the quality of our exhibits in fine arts and photography. We're just really well known for the amazing entries we get.
All I know is growing up here in Fairfield County and going to other fairs in different states, I was so highly disappointed. So I'm telling folks right now, be prepared to not have anything else like our fair. Not that I'm a big, huge fair like connoisseur of knowing all about different fairs, but I'm just saying I was so disappointed that I could not wait. So just take it in and enjoy and appreciate, I think, what we have. So you had mentioned we've got so many different things, and in the art hall, and so there is an open class competition. And what is that, and how do people enter for that, Cheryl?
So there are so many different categories in which you can enter. Perhaps the best way to find out is either you can go online to fairfieldcountyfair.org and look for the open class fair page, and you'll see, if you open that up, you'll see the whole program. The other way to do it, for those that are more familiar with our fair book that we've had traditionally, is we've got that again this year. Okay. And you can come in here and see every different category, both livestock and what I would consider the more arts and crafts, non-livestock kinds of things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, in order to enter, do you have to go to the administration building to do so? And if so, where is that?
Okay. So we have 3 ways this year that you can enter. We've added an online entry process, and you can find out about that again by going online, or of course you can still go into the fair office. The fair book has our entry forms in it, so you can pre-fill them out and take them in. We're doing something neat to try to make the fair flow more easily for people. We've got one fair program, or one fair software program, that takes us, whether it's livestock or non-livestock, from entry clear through sale. And so everything is seamless. The information gets entered once, and then it flows through the system, and everybody that needs it can access it. So people can do that. It's called fairentry.com. So they can enter online. They will still this year, because we're transitioning, need to go into the fair office to pay for their entry fee and to get their exhibitor tickets. Okay. And how you find that fair office is you pull in off of Fair Avenue, right across from Broad Street. when you pull in, you'll immediately see this wonderful display on the right-hand side that's done by our master gardeners. And at that street, you turn right. It's between that and the ticket booth, and you go past a number of our antique buildings, and you will get to a brick building that is right along Fair Avenue, just inside our gate. That's the administration building. That's where you go.
And it's about the size of an alley, is really what that
Yes,
road is. So
it
don't
really
expect
is.
to be like a
It's
full road. It's just kind of like an alley.
Midway Fair,
Yes.
lane or something.
Immediate right. It's like immediate
just a
right.
little, it's an immediate right. You pull in and take an immediate right.
What are some of the things that folks will be able to see at the Art Hall this year?
Oh, my goodness. Well, let's see. Of course, we're going to have quilts. People love to come into the central area and see quilts. There's all kinds of food for home. So we have, in addition to all of the different competitions, so there's honey, there's different kinds of vegetables from gardens, there's hay, so there's all the farm produce. There's an amazing horticulture area. We have all kinds of collections and gift boxes that people have made that they've decorated uniquely. So you can see all kinds of different things there. In addition to all of those exhibits, we will have a series of food competitions. So there is Finest Food, Fairfield's Finest Food. That's on Monday. And that, I think, is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And the unique ingredient this year is they have to make a dessert that includes pineapple. So they have to create this on their own and bring the recipe. And then Tuesday is our beef cook-off, and Wednesday, I believe that's right, I have to double check my dates. There is so much going on at the fair that I get, Tuesday is Fairfield's Finest Food, Wednesday is the Dynamic Beef, and Thursday is our pork cook-off. So then there's that. We have entertainment in the Art Hall in that center area where the quilts are. So David Wayne will be back again this year.
Nice.
And we have somebody multiple evenings. So Debbie Wright is there Wednesday evening, and the Cedar Hill Bluegrass Boys will be there Thursday evening.
Very nice, very nice. And I know that we're going to move on here in just a minute and speak with Connie Smith, but real quick, the pie auction, is there going to be a pie?
Oh my goodness. Oh yes, because there will be the blue ribbon auction. That's Monday night. So the winners of all of our first place prizes are auctioned off to people. And I've got to tell you, I'm somebody that's been there at that auction, and I've bought, because they're amazing. So come and support. 60% of that money goes to the exhibitor, and part of it is kept for restorations in the Food for Home area of the Art Hall.
Well, I think that there's just so many great things, and all I know is that when Krista Moody decides not to enter in the competition, other people will get an opportunity to win. She's amazing, and what a baker she is. I don't know if she is doing any kind of entering this year. I would have no doubt, but yes. But thank you so much, Cheryl.
It's been a delight. Thank you.
I love having you and talking about fair.
Love being here.
Folks, don't go anywhere. We're going to have Connie Smith coming up next. She is another Senior Fair Board Director with the Fairfield County Fair Board, and we'll be back in a minute. It's Down Here with Tina.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. I am talking with now Connie Smith. She is a senior fair board director, Fairfield County Fair, 172nd.
Yeah.
Long time.
I haven't been around that long.
No, but you have been around for a few years.
I've been around for a few years.
How many years have you been involved with the Fair Board, Connie?
Well, I've worked for OSU Extension, and in that capacity, that's been 33 years of doing stuff for the fair. My family has, we've always showed cattle there, so it's been a long time. But I will tell you, this is like my second year on the official fair board, and wowza. I'm not really sure what I got myself into, but, I'm having a ball. It's a good thing. And I got to share with you, I didn't think so much about the fair until 2020 when we didn't have a fair. And it was junior fair only. Then we come back to 2021, first year as a new director, and I'm just feeling like overwhelmed. I'm like, yikes, what am I doing? And Commissioner Steve Davis said in our opening ceremony, we all needed this date on the calendar. And every time I think about that statement from a county commissioner, but I really think about the heartfelt way he said it, I think for all of us on the board, when we heard that, it made you want to do better. It made you know how much the community needs this fair.
Yes.
And how we all need this tradition.
Absolutely.
170 years, 172 years, it doesn't make any difference. It's fall at the fairgrounds.
And that's the Fairfield County Fair goes.
Absolutely.
They go hand in hand.
Yep.
It's
October 9th through the 15th. Best place to be in the state of Ohio is Fairfield County.
Rain, shine, windy, cold, it does not matter. It is the best place to be. It really is.
Exactly.
Connie.
And like from my perspective, for all those years, I was so driven with 4-H, FFA, educating the public was kind of what Extension does. So looking for new ways to do that, being creative with things. But when you really think about all the components that make up a fair, which I'm learning about in this new role, it's amazing to me the work that 172 years a board of directors has done to pull this off every year. It doesn't matter what it costs to get in. If it's a quarter, if it's 50 cents, if it's whatever, we want to make it the best we can make it. And now $7, yikes, that's pretty cheap.
Absolutely. And thank you and everybody that is involved with it that makes this happen every year. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, because this is not easy. You see thousands and thousands of people that come in every year, and it is for all of them, but you are all doing it because of your love and passion for the community of the county and the agriculture and the 4-H'ers. I mean, it all comes together, and it all comes in for this one week, and not to have it is just would be sad.
The other thing that I think is really important, you guys all know at Interface in 2020, we broadcast all those shows.
Oh, yeah.
And we were like, oh my gosh, how do we give every child their due? Because those kids, our beef kids, have worked a year with a project. Our lamb kids are working, some of them 4 and 5 months. Our pig kids are doing the same thing. All of those livestock exhibitors have put money, effort, and time into those market projects.
Yeah.
So when you think about that, and you think about the lessons we're teaching those children.
Yep.
So it's how are you putting a safe, wholesome product on a consumer's plate? And that's kind of tough, your first couple years, but it is a market project.
It is.
So what you're doing, that, you're trying to feed a consumer. You need to know the amount of feed you put in. You need to know their rate of gain, and you need to know what that end product is. And, we have 4 muscle performance quality shows now. We have a goat muscle performance quality show. We have Market Barrow, which is a market male pig show. We have a market beef MQP show, and then we have one for the sheep. And those are all ending before the fair. And our good friends at Bay Food Market and Bay Packing are making that happen.
Yeah.
And so it's community that drives the fair. It's community that pulls the fair together. It's community partners working with the fair.
Absolutely.
One of the most amazing livestock sales across the state. You know, $500,000 in livestock sales at one little county fair. Are you kidding me, really?
Right.
Yeah.
And this is exactly why the majority, if not all, of the county schools are out for the week of, because the kids are so involved, which it is, again, great, because it gives them so much more of an opportunity to be involved with what we have in our land and our animals.
Yeah.
So the livestock competitions.
Well, you know, a lot of good things happen at a livestock competition, and sometimes it's not always the person that has the purple ribbon that walks out of the ring that's learned the most. It's maybe the kid that is like third or fourth place, and they see what they should be doing as far as, I didn't do this quite right. You know, I didn't have my calf finished, or the judge felt that lamb, and he told me that there wasn't quite enough cover over that loin. Well, that term means that wouldn't be a pleasurable eating experience for the consumer. Now, we have brought back skill-a-thons in our county, which allow children to know about parts. They need to know how to read a feed tag. We've brought things back to educate those children. But you think about the amount of students that were going to leave this county, find their next profession, and it may be in the world of animal science. They may become a vet. They may become a feed salesman. They may want to know things that are in the feed, or they may be a farmer or a producer. And you think about the training they got.
Right.
And that's really important.
Absolutely.
That's immeasurable of what we do for these children, and all the 4-H advisors that do that and work with those kids. You know, so we like to see them rewarded at the livestock auction.
Absolutely.
We like to thank our buyers. Put together a buyers club a few years ago for folks that can't come to the fair, but they want to see kids rewarded. We'll get about $4,000, $5,000 in donations every year to spend on a multitude of projects.
Connie, for anybody, because I know I wish we had hours to talk about with what you guys do and what everything and all that takes place at the fair. For anybody that is interested in anything that you had mentioned here on the show today, or that Cheryl had mentioned, because, you know, they may go, oh, you know, and of course they can go back and watch the show as many times as they want.
Absolutely.
But, however, with that being said, what is your contact information, and where can they follow you all when it comes to the Fairfield County Fair?
Well, I'll tell you, of course, fairfieldcountyfair.org is a great website. The other place to really follow it, I think that we try to keep it up to date, is you can go to fairfield.osu.edu and look at junior fair information. You know, we have a blog that's called In the News at the Extension Office, and it's all about everything we talk about, our news columns, our radio shows, everything we're doing. So subscribe to In the News. We're going to share that information with you and get subscribers, and we'll keep you up to date. We've even got a Fairfield County Fair blog where you can find all that information.
Perfect. Connie, as always, it's such a pleasure to
have
you.
I love coming and talking to you.
This
is the best ever.
Time.
No, never enough time. Absolutely.
Folks, I want to just thank you for watching the show, and thank my sponsors. Down Here with Tina is brought to you by these amazing sponsors. And this is to be continued, not with Cheryl and Connie, but I will have on next week's episode some 4-H'ers and Aubrey from the OSU Extension. So thanks so much for watching this week. God bless and good day.